Today we are going across Florida, so what I want to do is just try to see the range and make sort of a range test of the Tesla to see if the range is actually accurate, what they say here on the display, and the projected range, because we have one of our kittens, if you remember, Bindi, the kitten with a broken leg, has been adopted, so we're gonna transport her over to her brand new home and family that is in Cape Coral. So what I'm doing right now is we're here at the charging station, and we're just filling up here. So it's pretty full already. It's 187 miles, as you can see out there. So where we're going is we're going to Cape Coral, which is 114 miles. Now you see that there is a supercharger right there in the middle of the Everglades. And by the way, this way right here is one of the most boring highways you're ever going to see in Florida or ever, because it's just a straight line. There's nothing to see. There are maybe a couple of gators on each side of the road there you might see sometimes, but here you can see the total trip here. Let's see what it says. It says supercharger Okeechobee, Florida at a 47%, 1134. If I start right now in Cape Coral, we're gonna go down to 18%. Total trip 138 miles, 3 hours and 2 minutes, but that's with the current charge, I guess. So we're gonna go up to about 225 miles up here. So this is obviously going to change, and I'm gonna try and make it should be okay to go this entire trip without supercharging one more time. So this should be the only time I need to supercharge before I head back home. I'm gonna make a supercharge before that as well. All right, so charging is complete, and we got 233 miles. And let's see, the distance again is 138 to where we are going. So let's get on the road. Bindi, hey, ready to go home? Okay, let's do it. This is now the official start. We have Bindi in the car, and we have 147 miles to our destination, 2 hours 50 minutes, 1:09 p.m. Okay, so I made off an update here. We're coming in at almost 50 miles since the last supercharger, and as you remember, I had about 230 miles up there. So it's 50. We've gone 50, and it's gone down from 230 to 162. So this number up here is not really accurate. That's something you might want to take into consideration when you're buying a Tesla. And of course, it is also 87 degrees out, and I'm not trying to drive this car like I would, I'm not trying to drive this car in any other way than I would any other combustion engine car. I'm trying to do the exact same kind of driving as I do with a normal car to get the numbers sort of similar and to really see how efficient or how accurate this number is. But we're gonna keep, I'm gonna keep an eye on this and update you as we go along here. Bindi, are you sick of the car? Are you sick of the car, Bindi? I know. And the Tesla range too, it's not accurate, it's not cool. Look at that, 159, we've gone 52. Alright, so we are almost in Naples now, and I want to make a quick update video to show you what's going on here. So you can see 130 miles left on the range, according to Tesla, but that is not correct, as we know by now, because we've gone 76 miles. So that means that this would be up to 205 when we started, but as you know, we were up in 232. So 25 miles plus minus, I guess, so far is what we can count on when it comes to the range here. But I think we're gonna stop up here in Naples to get some charge in before we head up to Cape Coral. we decided to do now is we're going to Fort Myers, right? Yeah, because Bindi, we need to do one last thing at a vet, and we got an appointment at 1 o'clock. So as you can see here, it's 40 miles to the vet, and it's 112 miles left in the range. And this should be okay, but with this, like we've seen here now, you have 112 miles left, and we've gone 90 miles. We started at 232 again, so we should be okay here. If we're not okay, if it's gonna die before 40 miles and we go to the vet, then we do have a problem. But I think we're gonna be fine, so I'll keep you updated. So let's see when we get there. It should be, it says they should have some sort of superchargers there, so we're just gonna plug it in, and then we're gonna finish the last stretch to the actual adopter, and she can actually get her healthy brand new little kitten. So every time I drive this trip, I always look for this tower or antenna or whatever this is, because that marks when we have reached the other side of Florida, as you can see right here on the map. And Everglades really is just a long straight, and I used the autopilot for probably 95% of that entire strip, because there's really not much else to do when you're driving this route right here. But as you can see, we crossed Florida and we're now on the other side. So, update. We made it to Fort Myers. Bindi, she's okay. She's in there. She's really ready to get adopted right now. Let's have a look at the numbers. We got 54 miles left on the car, and we've gone 133 miles. So we started, as I said, 232 miles. So it's off by like 45 miles or so, which is pretty substantial. Not sure if that has something to do with the temperature here, because it's a lot hotter here on this side of Florida today than it is at home. So what we're gonna do, just gonna plug it in here and leave it on for maybe 15-20 minutes before we go back and drive back up to, or down, I should say, down to Naples to meet some friends and have lunch before we head all the way back to Fort Lauderdale. Bindi. Hey. Hey, Bindi. Sweaty. A lot of fans on here at the same time. Well, could be the 92-degree weather. Alright guys, so we are back home. So what can I say? Well, what's the conclusion from this trip? I would say don't trust the range that you have in your Tesla, because those metrics and those numbers, those were made during very favorable conditions. For example, you put your Tesla onto cruise in 45 miles per hour. Maybe you go round and round on it's just a round circle, and you just keep it at 45 miles per hour, and then you might reach those estimated miles that you have up there in the corner. But if you do daily driving, and driving that everybody does every single day, which is start, stop, accelerate, brake, different speeds, left, right, elevation down, up and down, and all of this, then the range is not going to be accurate at all. We lost maybe like 45 miles or something like that from the estimate. Our range ended up being about 180 miles per charge instead of the 230, which I think 231 or 232, which was estimated when we charged up at a supercharger to 90%. So take it with a grain of salt, and it all depends on the type of driving you're doing as well, obviously. I like to go pretty fast on the highway, so my average speed through the Everglades was around maybe 82 miles per hour, something like that. I know that if I were to lower it down to 75, the range would be a lot better, I'm sure, but that's the thing with this test. I wanted to drive the car as I would drive just any internal combustion engine car, and compare that to the actual range that Tesla gave me, and then see what range we actually got. So that was the test. Overall, I think it was a good test. One really good thing about the Tesla Model 3 that I noticed now on a longer journey is that it's super comfortable in longer stretches. I don't feel that my body gets tired like I usually feel on other cars that when we've been going on longer trips, such as up to North Carolina that we did just a couple of months ago. That was in my wife's Volkswagen Tiguan, and that feels not as comfortable on longer rides than the Model 3. But then again, you have the thing with the range. So if Tesla could solve the range issue and come up with maybe 400-mile range, I think that would be the sweet spot, because after 400 miles, you need a break anyway. Either you need to go to the bathroom, or you need to eat or sleep or anything. So 400 miles seems to be the sweet spot for EVs. If they can reach a range of 400 realistic daily driving miles with the comfort that the car has, then we definitely have a winner. But until that time, Tesla Model 3s, I have the standard range plus, I know, but if you have the long range, you would probably get maybe, I would assume, 80 more miles in real life than from the standard range plus or something like that. I haven't tested it, so I can't say, but that's just my guess. So overall, I just want to leave you with that. It's a good test. It still has all the range that I need for my daily use, but if you're going on longer road trips, this might be very useful to think about before setting out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.